Book 101 New Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's a growing content copy and a marketing agency that helps B2B companies build trust and increase pipeline other than Mr. Greg Digneo. Welcome,
Thank you so
welcome
much.
to Book
Thank you.
101.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, welcome to Book 101, Mr. Greg. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, sure. I've run Content Guppy, and up until very recently, we were an SEO agency. Been growing that for a few years, and we sort of made a pivot to focus more on partnerships and helping companies helping SaaS companies get more visibility uh, through through partnering with other companies that share their same customer base.
Mr. Greg Digneo, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thank you.
And today, let's talk about the building a seven
Yeah.
figure service business designed to explore strategies. What motivated you or motivated you to pursue building seven figure service business? And what was turning point that set you in this path?
So this is actually my third company in my life. The motivation for this one was in March of 2021. I was amicably fired from a job and I didn't know what else to do. So I decided I was going to start an SEO agency. And yeah, so that was the motivation for it. I just didn't know what to do with myself. And I decided that I didn't really want to have another job. And nothing against what I was doing, but it was just sort of I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, except for a couple brief little stints with working for somebody else. And I decided I was gonna go back to my entrepreneurial roots, and that's kind of how this came about.
How do you define a successful service business and what makes the seven figure milestone significant?
Um, define a so for me, I've had a successful service business and an unsuccessful one, and I think an unsuccessful service business is where um you're burnt out because you do everything. You're working 80 hours a week and you are, doing the design or you're doing all the writing and you're doing the sales and you're doing this and that and you're wearing all the hats and there's no systems in place and there's nothing really to and there and there's nothing really to say, hey, listen, if I want to take a break for today, then then I can't. Then I don't get paid like that. That's unsuccessful, and I've had that, and you can't sustain that for a long period of time. For me, a successful one isn't so much like that. It has to be seven figures. It doesn't. What a successful one has to be is there has to be systems in place so that way you can work if you want to work 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 40 hours a week, the work will still get done. um, and again, that doesn't mean you have to hire a bunch of people. That doesn't mean any of that. But what it means is that um, that you that the work gets done without 100% of your time and energy, without you working 80 hours a week, without you burning out. And that's what a successful service business is to me. I don't think the money or how much revenue you make have if you have a $10,000 a month at business and you're happy with that and you have some good systems in place and you're not burning yourself out, then that's very successful.
Definitely.
Yep.
And what are the key difference between scaling a service business and a product-based business
Mm.
to seven figures?
Yeah. So scaling is it's easier to scale a service business to seven figures than it is like a SaaS company. I don't have any familiarity with like e-commerce or anything like that, so I can't speak on that. It's easier to scale a service business to seven figures than it is a SaaS company. Like you could scale a service business to seven figures in a year, maybe even shorter, bootstrapped. Um, the challenge though is that it's easier to scale a SaaS business to 10, 20, 30, $50 million than it is to scale the service business. So it just depends on what it is that you kind of want to do. And yeah, so that's the big difference. It's one is there's like a bottle, there's like like a crisscross kind of thing where it's like once you get to $1 million in revenue, that's when it becomes harder to scale the service business than the SaaS company versus, before $1 million, it's easier to scale the service business.
Mr.
Uh,
Greg, can you
yeah.
explain how frameworks like the LAPS model help or have help you scale your business?
I'm sorry, the what model?
Leads, appointments, and presentation sales.
Leads, appointments, and then what was the last one?
Presentations,
Oh, okay.
sales.
I never heard of that model. I'm sorry. I
So,
never really heard of that.
which model are you using to your business? Can you share to us?
Sure. So basically, what we here's how we uh, grow our sales, and I think anybody can do this. What we do is we go out. So like we work with SaaS companies. So we find other newsletters, we find creators, we go on podcasts, things like, or I'll go on podcasts, things like that. I talk about what we do. I'll write about it or in somebody else's newsletter and somebody else's SaaS newsletter, or I'll write about it on a guest post, or I'll talk about it on a podcast or a YouTube channel or something like that. And then I tell people to go to contentguffy.com. They enter their email address there, and then there's like a little mini funnel, and that's how we book our appointments. And then just from there, we just tell people what we do and how we could help them. Um, and then they like, I'm not really a big sales guy. Like I'm not going to pressure somebody to make a sale, but so we'll just say, hey, listen, this is how we could help you. This is how many leads I think we could get for you, or this is how we could help you increase your visibility. And if they want to buy, if they want to hire us, then they hire us. And if they don't, then that's cool too. That's it. That's kind of how we
Interesting.
do it. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if that answers your
Inter
question.
Yes, interesting strategy, Mr. Greg. What's one critical, yes, strategy you use to secure high value clients consistently for your service business?
Yeah, we leverage other people's trust, but through partnerships, just like I talked about. So the cool thing about going on somebody's like YouTube channel or somebody's podcast is that um, you get to borrow somebody's trust. Like I'm borrow your audience is listening to me, they trust you, they have me on, they trust me, and that's kind of how it works. Like that's if I go on a YouTube channel for an accelerator for like a tiny seed or a 500 startups, and I'm on their YouTube channel talking to a bunch of startups, like those startups will trust me because they brought me onto their YouTube channel. um, and so then those folks get who have money and who have a lot of money to spend on marketing. um, I've kind of secured like that trust, and then when they go into the phone call or meeting with me, it's not they're not trying to I'm not trying to win them over because I've already won them over in that regard. I'm just telling them like, here's how I could help you. Now I can either help them or I can't. I don't know, but I don't have to win them over and be all salesy or anything like that because I've already done that. That work is already done by the time they get to my site.
Mr. Greg, what system or process were essential for ensuring consistent service delivery as your business scaled?
Yeah, so we don't really have a specific. I don't know if I have a specific process that anybody could use, but I will say like the one thing that we do is we only work with SaaS companies who are in um, the B2B space, and we own like up until recently we were only doing SEO. Now we only do partnership marketing. Like that's it. We do one thing for one type of person, and so that allows us to consistently deliver quality to our clients. We don't try to be everything for everybody. Like That's, if you're an e-commerce brand, like, we can't help you. Or if you're a info product company, we can't help you. But if you're a SaaS company and you're looking for partnerships, then that's how we could help you.
What steps did you take to maintain high profit margins while growing to seven figures, Mr. Greg?
Oh man.
How
So
is it?
at first my profit margins weren't high, and then they got higher as I got more confident. The best way to have to maintain high profit margins is to constantly have a pipeline of new leads coming in, because you could always say no. If somebody's trying to nickel and dime you, or trying to reduce your price or whatever, or you're feeling pressured to lower your price to win a client. Well, if you have a constant pipeline of new clients behind them, or new calls, if you have 5, 6, 7 calls a week or whatever it is, then you don't have to feel pressure to lower your price to win that client. You could just say, okay, this person isn't for me, on to the next one. So I don't have a process in place other than the fact that I'm just constantly trying to keep a pipeline of new clients, new prospects coming in every day.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Greg. Totally empowering.
Yeah, I think I learned that early. Like, I used to be, somebody was like, oh, I used to feel like, hey, I have to win this client. Let me lower my price $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever it was. But now I don't have to do that as much, because it's like, when I quote a price, it's like, okay, no, you can't afford that. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly cool. Or you don't think it's worth it. That's perfectly cool. Let me go and talk to the person. I have another call tomorrow with somebody else who might think it is worth the price. So, I don't know. That's kind of how I do it. That's it. There's no real
Awesome.
secret.
Awesome. So how is important a client retention in building a seven-figure service business, and what the tactics have worked for you?
How important is retention?
Yes.
So, oh, if you're constantly churning out clients, then you cannot build a 6 or 7 figure business. It's almost impossible. Um, we have clients who've been with us for 4 years, so from the very beginning. So that's kind of like something I'm really proud of. We have clients who are here for a lot of our clients are here 2, 3 years. Um, the way to do that is just to deliver quality work. Like, you have to exceed their expectations, one, and then two, be in touch with them, talk to them. I email my clients all the time. I'm not above getting on the phone with a client, or with clients throughout the course of a week or month or quarter or whatever. I Over the course of a quarter, I talk to every single one of my clients, every single one. Even if it's like 5 minutes to say hello, or like if it's a quick email, like, hey, checking in, how's everything going, like that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm constantly and personally in communication with them. So, and I think they appreciate that as well.
For sure, they will appreciate.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg, and what is the pivotal decision, like pivoting services or declining certain clients, that accelerated your path to seven figures?
Um. So the pivotal thing, I don't know if I don't know if there was a pivotal thing. I think it's just kind of finding what works and doubling down on it. So for us, we found out that partnerships work, and so we just kept doing more of them. So I don't know if there's like this really big pivot that we had where we're like, oh, this is the switch that turned us into a 7 figure agency. Like, that doesn't happen. That didn't happen for us. Like, there was nothing like magical that happened. We started out with one client, and then we had two, and then we figured out, like, oh wait, if I just write a guest post here, maybe I'll get another client, and if I write a guest post here, I'll get another. Like, and I just kept writing guest posts and going on podcasts, and uh, go sponsoring newsletters and getting featured in newsletters and things like that, and that's kind of how it worked, and that was it. Just figuring out what worked and doubling down.
Doubling down.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg, as an entrepreneur, what are your short term and long term goals?
Um, so short term goals, I think. So, but I think my short term and long term goals are the same. it's just to keep building something that I really love to build with the people that I love building it with. I do have revenue goals and things like that that I want to achieve, but that's more for keeping score. Um, but yeah, it's building things with people that I want to build them with, and that's it. Like that's the number one goal. So like having something that I'm really proud that I built. Yeah, that's I don't know if it's any more, and I guess the other thing is like I'm proud that I get to provide myself a really nice lifestyle, and I get to provide my team with a really nice lifestyle, and that's I think short term and long term. I don't think that changes. Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to your
Thank you.
goals, Mr.
Thank
Greg,
you.
and looking forward for more success. What will be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be an entrepreneur like you?
um what's one piece of advice? Get started. Okay, so don't play business. Go, like, the only thing a business needs is is a singular paying customer. If you have, like, you don't need an LLC, you don't need a bank account, you don't need a fancy website. None of that makes a business. The only thing you need is a customer. So if you have an idea, write down 20 people who might want to buy that idea or that product or that service from you, whatever it is, and call every one of them up and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think? And then if one of those people are going to turn into a customer, and all of a sudden now you're an entrepreneur. So it's not that much. It's not like, if you want to become an entrepreneur, it's not much harder than that. The rest of it is hard, but to become an entrepreneur, that's all you got to do. Find one paying customer to buy something from you. That's it.
Yes. Well, thank you for that advice,
Yep.
Mr. Greg. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah. So, built. It's a book called "Built to Sell" by John Warlow. Huge influence on me. It talks all about building systems, and um, even if you don't want to sell your company, it's a way for you as the CEO or the head of the company to be able to say, "Here's the systems that I have in place where the product or service. I'm not involved in every single facet of the delivery of the service." And so it talks about how to build the systems and how to make sales and all that stuff, and how to hire people and how to train them and how to create operations standard, an SOP, um, things like that. So yeah, definitely a book that I highly recommend, and especially if you're building a service business.
Thank you for that recommended book, Mr. Greg. And what feedback have you received from clients or peers about the impact of your seven-figure business model?
uh, Clients, I get a lot of feedback because they want to make sure that when they spend their money with us, that they're getting what they get. So I get a lot of feedback from clients. Most of it is good. Every now and again you mess up, but that's cool. That it happens. Um, for my peers, I don't know, nothing much. I don't, like, a lot of them are on my newsletter and appreciate the free stuff that we give them, like the free content. But beyond that, I mean, it's mostly like client feedback, and I would say 90% of the feedback that we get is positive. So I'm proud of that.
Definitely be
Yeah,
proud of it, Mr.
yeah,
Greg. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season, Abstract Poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, Comedy 101 in second season, and my Food 101 in fifth season as well, Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast, Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Greg, what is one of your piece of recommendation you'd give to someone starting their journey to build a seven-figure service business?
joining us. starting a seven-figure business. Create a product or service that allows you to get to seven figures. Some services you're going to create, some services you could create aren't going to get you there. But so like if you have like a $100 a month kind of service, it's going to be very hard to get to seven figures. If you have a $5,000 a month service, it's going to be much easier. So make sure that the product or service that make sure the service you create or the service that you're selling is allows you to get to that scale.
Indeed. And what leadership qualities or skills were crucial for managing a growing team in your seven-figure business?
Oh, um, gosh, don't. I tend to delegate and then I try to let people solve their problems. Like I'm more of a coach than I try to coach my team members and things like that. Like if somebody comes with me with a problem, I don't try to solve it for them. I let them solve it. I mean, I'll help them or whatever if I can, but yeah, I want them to solve their get. You want to let people take ownership of their job, and so you want to let people solve the problems that they come up with every day. If you get in the habit of solving other people's problems and putting out fires, you're just going to do that all day long. So make sure that the team knows that they're empowered to fix things or they're empowered to do things. And yeah, so that's the biggest piece of advice I would have. That's the biggest leadership tactic that I find. I don't know if it's a good one or not, but that's what I find works for us is I just let people solve their own problems.
Totally, totally
Yeah.
empowering, Mr. Greg Daniel. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now.
Yeah. So if you go to contentcompany.com, enter in your email address, and yeah, that's you can get playbooks and you show you how to get more sales.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Greg Daniel because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering business to come. So, Mr. Greg, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.